Come, mortals. Enter my realm, if you dare.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining me here today. Welcome back for another video, and today we're going to be doing a quick rundown of the announced upcoming game features for 6.2 from today's live letter. So most of the information I was able to find was from the translation channel coverage of the event. We do have some screenshots, they have some things that were confirmed for us. A lot of it was things that we were already aware of, but there are a few new updates that really were a big surprise. So just keep in mind that this is just part 1 of the live letter. Part 2 will be coming out at a later date, probably near the end of July if I had to guess. And there are going to be open spoilers for this content through 6.1, so just be aware of that as well. So we're just jumping straight on into it, and the first thing that we learned is the title. We don't have a release date for it just yet. But it did state that it is going to be coming out in late August, which means it's probably going to come out either the 23rd or the 30th of August. That means that there's still almost 2 months to go from the live letter date, but definitely something to mark on the calendar. But we do at least have a title confirmed, so this upcoming title is going to be 6.2 Buried Memories. And that already sounds freaking awesome, so it's difficult to say. I mean, the titles really don't give a lot of information a lot of time, but if I had to guess, I would say that this has something to do with our Voidsent friend that Xenos kind of made a pact with. And it does seem to be confirmed because we did get a couple screenshots. So this is going to be the first screenshot where we have our gang here. We have the Warrior of Lights along with Criterion, Yastola, and Vitra, as well as the cute little Black Atomos. So it looks like the Atomos is complete and we're getting ready to go and jump into the void from the looks of things. And I'm guessing that Sid is here because he went ahead and made adjustments to the warding scales. So it looks like this is going to be the start of our grand adventure straight into the void. As for the second screenshot, we actually have the Voidsent that we saw before, and so just in case you weren't aware, yes, this is the exact same Voidsent that was hanging around Xenos all that time. And it has returned to the void itself, so it does look like we are going to be maybe running into this creature while we're there. And if I had to guess from the title, I guess that this has something to do with buried memories deep inside this particular Voidsent. All we know for sure is that this creature will be showing up. Yoshi P did tease us about whether or not it's a boy or a girl, but explains that they didn't want to spoil anything ahead of time, so we don't have exactly any more details for a long while. However, they did reveal the name of the next dungeon, which is going to be the Fell Court of Toria. It's another callback to a Final Fantasy IV, which is the Fell Court of Toria dungeon, and it suggests that we're going to be giving an elemental crystal while we're there, likely summoning the trial method below in the same way it happened in the earlier Final Fantasy IV game. I am willing to bet that it's going to be the 4 archfiends for the trial fights, and it would tie in just so perfectly. And I have to say, I kind of gasped in shock when I first saw the picture. We do have the screenshots with, I don't even have words to describe it, but it is a palace that is in the void. So we're definitely going to be going through the void, and I'm guessing running through here for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. But we do have another look inside the dungeon, so it's kind of dark, it's creepy, what you expect from the void. Hopefully we will find out some information about Ajdaya, as well as getting our first trial fight here as well. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to the side quests as well. We do have a few updates for some side quests, including Tataru's Grand Endeavor. And this is going to be kind of interesting because we will require the completion of the Shadow of Mach questline, which is the Heavensward Alliance raid, and we have to complete that before we'll be allowed to take on this next quest. Which does make sense because we do see her in the Sea of Clouds, we're with her, and it looks like that we're going to be making some kind of a deal with the Sky Pirates, the Red Bills. So I'm sure that it's going to be very interesting on that front. As for the next side quest, I love this. I'm not gonna lie, I just about freaked out when I found out, and I just had a laughing fit because we have somehow further Hildebrand Adventures in 6.25, so that's going to be coming out about 2 months after 6.2. So with these screenshots, we have Nashu, and she's definitely on the moon. She's in Mare Lamentorum, so I'm guessing that we're going to be going from Razathan up to Garlemald, and we're going to use the teleporter to get her there. And if you haven't played through that particular quest line, I don't want to reveal too many spoilers, but it is completely insane. And I just feel like 2 years worth of humor that we should have gotten for Shadowbringers has just kind of been added onto the hilarity here, because it was just completely insane. So I'm betting that it's going to only continue with the hilarity. But the important thing here is that we will be getting the weapon enhancement quest as well in 6.25. The thing is, it's going to be unlocked through the Hildebrand questline, so we have to complete the somehow further Hildebrand adventures before we can actually get the new weapons. And these are, I kid you not, these are the legendary Manderville weapons. No, really, they will be unlocked during the somehow further Hildebrand adventure questline, and they are going to be quest-centric progression through the 6.x series. So no field zones, these are going to be tied directly to the relic weapons this time. And all we know for sure is that it looks like Godbert and Geralt are going to be working together. And it's always good to see Geralt and Godbert, but the two of them together, oh boy, that is going to be amazing. I mean, maybe Geralt will finally be able to pay off all of his debts thanks to Godbert's, I don't know. But they will be working together throughout the rest of the Endwalker expansion. Alright, so next up are going to be the new tribe quests that are going to be coming in 6.25 as well. So this is going to be coming out with the weapons quest and Hildebrand. And I did not see this coming, I really didn't. This is going to be the Omnicrons. I had no idea what I was expecting. I guess I was kind of expecting the Loporrits, if I had to be honest, but hey, okay, we will be dealing with machine life forms. I love that. So this is going to be unique in that it's going to be a gathering tribe, similar to the Qatari from the Shadowbringers questline. But this does seem to confirm that we will be getting the Loporrits at a later date, and they're going to be specifically for crafting. At least that's what I'm betting on. And I'm guessing that we're going to be helping the Omnicrons try to maybe find a new purpose. I do hope the Omnicron tribe revolves around bartending to the universe at their bar. Which is very... I really don't know how to think about this, because like everything, there's supposed to be an echo of something driven to despair and ruin with nothing physically existing there until we appeared and kind of imposed our will on it. But then you use them to interface with the Omnicron outside Ultima Thule to avert an invasion of our world. And we do have the dragon and the AI echoes, so... yeah, this is very confusing. But apparently they are recreations made from Dynamis, and the real Omnicrons are dead as far as we know, with Omega being the last of them. Yeah, I have no idea. Either way, we are going to be having the next tribe quest coming out with 6.25, and yeah, I can't wait to have a bar at the end of the universe. Now, it hasn't been confirmed for us yet, but we do have the trial series beginning in 6.2. No information on what the trials are going to be just yet, except we will be getting the normal version as well as the extreme version. And again, I'm willing to bet that it's going to be one of the 4 Archfiends. Not sure which one yet. That could be a topic for another video. Anyway, we'll move on from that. Yeah, so the upcoming trials haven't been named yet, though it is expected to be one of the elemental thrones from the Knights in the Black cutscene, though. So that at least seems to be the most popular theory. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to the next round of Pandemonium, which is Abioso. I think I said that right. So we're going to be getting the normal version, and surprise, surprise, we're going to be getting the Savage just a week after the regular Pandemonium. So we're going to be getting 4 new bosses for 8-player teams to work through. The actual bosses apparently are going to be kept secret until the release, though. So this 1-week delay is being trialed in 6.2 and may or may not be implemented for future raid tiers. And all of that is going to be based on the community feedback and if they enjoyed it that way. Okay, next up we have the next Unreal Trials, which is going to be Sephiroth. And so while the regular trials that we will be getting for the main scenario are not confirmed yet. We do have the Unreal trial of Sephiroth confirmed for us, which is big because I think this is actually going to be the first from the Heavensward expansion. So proximity damage from Earthshaker and the tanks dying in the ad phase are all going to be back. So whether we like it or not, this is going to be a tough round to go against. We do have some new duty support dungeons as well, including Snowcloak, the Keeper of the Lake, All, the Airy, and the Vault. So a bunch of the dungeons from late A Realm Reborn to early to mid Heavensward are going to have NPC supports added in, which should also add some story flavor as well for the Archons you choose to have with you. So it does look like we will be getting people like Azel, Estinian, and Alphino for supports NPCs. And with the success of Camp Westwind now being turned into a solo duty, they're going to be doing the same thing to the Steps of Faith. So this is going to be removed as a multiplayer duty. The Vishap fight will be a solo fight from here on out. And it does look like we're going to be getting a revamped version of the Thorn March, which is from Good King Mugomog the 12th trial. Apparently it's been made somewhat easier since it's now the first 8-man content that players will enter during the main scenario quest. Right, so next up we have the Variant and the Criterion dungeons. So they did mention specifically that this is not going to be a new version or a replacement for Deep Dungeons. The new Deep Dungeon is still planned but for a later date, so probably closer to 6.3 if I had to guess. So they did give a lot of information, which is really cool so far. We do have a few screenshots, and the Variant dungeons, we'll start with those first. So for the Variant dungeons, these are going to be play for level 90 players. You can run through it with 1 to 4 players, though you can be matched into a party of 4 if you join through the Duty Finder. There's going to be no role restrictions, and you can change jobs even once you're inside. The enemy strength is determined by your party size, and there are going to be various routes of progression through each of these dungeons, and there are going to be multiple different stories. So for the full experience, you may want to run through it several times in order to get every different idea. The first dungeon that we will be getting is going to be the Sildeth Subterrane, which is going to be located beneath Udal. And they say you will run through this dungeon with a certain NPC. If I had to guess, I would say it would be someone like Nanamo. That's my best bet anyway. We also have the Criterion dungeons, which are very similar to the Variant dungeons, but it's going to be with a higher difficulty. So these are going to be kind of like the extreme or the savage difficulty. These are going to be 4 players contents, and they're going to be with the regular 1 tank, 1 healer, 2 DPS. And you can still use raises while you're here, but it's going to be restricted in Criterion dungeons. There's no usage at all with the Savage version. If someone dies in Savage, you will have to continue without them. If the party wipes, all enemies will revive, and failing to complete the dungeon under a certain time limit will buff all of your enemies. So best to get through it as quickly as you can. And the Savage mode has to be run with a pre-made party. So all in all, it's definitely going to be something different. I'm looking forward to seeing all of these different stories, as well as learning who this mysterious NPC is. Again, I'm betting it's going to be Nanamo. Okay, so I think we're reaching near the end. Oh, Island Sanctuary. Yes, that is probably the biggest thing that I was really looking forward to. So this is not going to be added until 6.25, but every player is going to get their own island for free. They did show I guess an example screenshot, so it does look pretty big, I guess. So yeah, we only have like a tiny picture of what it's going to look like so far. But come on, you get your own little island sanctuary. Like, it's going to be like your own plot of land. Maybe for those who weren't lucky enough to get a house for Ishgard, this is going to be kind of the fallback for that. So what this whole concept is going to be casual solo play with gathering, crafting. Again, you don't need any crafting or gathering job experience needed for this, but you can also care for animals, build facilities, and more. Materials can be gathered on the island, and they are used only for content here. So you can gather materials while you're here on the island, but those are only going to be used for content on the island sanctuary, and they don't go into your regular inventory. Special tools can be crafted to gather resources more efficiently. You can collect creatures on the island and add them to your farm, which are rare and unique variations of the creatures that can also be found. You can grow island-specific crops. So these are not the same kind of crops that you can grow inside of like your estate garden plots. You can also build a base of operations and customize its appearance and functionality to some degree. It does not sound like it incorporates full housing decoration, but we more or less knew that already. Minions can be placed at your base and wander around wherever they want. Taking part in activities on your island, you can earn a special kind of currency which you can trade for special rewards. You can invite your friends over to this island. Flying with mounts can be unlocked eventually while you're here, though apparently it's not through the ether current system. Orchestrions can be set up to the base, though it will mainly be audible at the base itself. And further details on the island sanctuaries, including gameplay footage, will be included in the Part 2 live letter. Okay, so what else do we have? Well, let's go ahead and look at the job adjustments in PvP. Not too much here. They are planning on doing some job tweaks coming in both PvE and PvP. And previously announced major adjustments to Dragoon and Astrologian have been postponed, along with the areas being addressed in the 6.2 job tweaks are now buffed and debuffs that affect critical hits, and direct hit works with skills that guaranteed a critical damage hit. This is going to be explained more with the Part 2 live letter. As for PvP itself, the Crystalline Conflict Season 2 will begin after 6.18. Maintenance ends on July 5th. Crystalline Conflict Season 3 will also begin during 6.2. Not sure if this means at the 6.2 launch or at a later date. But we do have Series 2, which is going to be the new series rewards that's going to be unlaunched with 6.2. And apparently Rival Wings will be returning in 6.2. Yeah, so I myself am not the biggest fan of PvP, so that's just the basic idea of what I was able to pick up from that. Okay, so they did talk a great deal about adventure plates and portraits. I'm just going to skip over most of it, but basically they have things like new poses, new decorative features, individual plates for gear sets, camera and pose settings can be copied, all current plates and portraits can be deleted for 6.2. So portrait linking will change, so portraits will make it in before 6.2, and you'll be able to set up unique adventurer plates and portraits to specific gear sets. That way you'll be able to have one for each of your classes as well. A gear used during portrait rendering is used rather than the creation gear you have equipped, and any portraits created before 6.2 are going to be deleted, so you need to make them again on patch day. Okay, so that's pretty much everything except for the miscellaneous, which really isn't too much. We are going to have new high-level crafted gear that's kind of comes with the territory. We can now request repairs from other players when we're in and outside of duties. We're going to be seeing a new branching view of combo action, so that's going to be really interesting, especially for newer players. Rare materials are going to be added to ethereal reductions for miners, botanists, and fishers. They did make some adjustments to the Return to Evilise quest lines, so the two quests, Making Baking and Walk On By, are going to be removed. Thank God for that. I really did not care for those two particular quests. And if I had to guess, those are probably going to be like some little minor side quests added on by the end of it. And probably one of my favorite things that I learned here is going to be an increase in the Glamour Dresser. So capacity has now jumped from 400 to 800. So yes, it has doubled, and thank God for that. I have so much gear that I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to throw it away, but at the same time, I don't really have too much space for it. So that's definitely going to help me out a lot with that front. Otherwise, the only other thing that I can really think of is going to be the new Allegon Tomestones, which is going to be the Allegon Tomestones of Casuality. So that's going to be replacing the top-end currency. And yeah, I think that's just about it. So that's going to be all the information that we know about 6.2 so far. The reveals are going to keep upcoming for the next couple months. Like I said before, the majority of this comes from the live letter stream, but smaller chunks are slipping out as the weeks leading up to the launch come and go. Maintenance for the launch of patch 6.18 is going to be July 4th to the 5th. It's going to be a full 24 hours due to the implication of the DC travel. So new Japanese and European servers are going to be added at this time. This is an unusually long maintenance for a minor patch. And we can be looking forward to more gameplay footage, the patch 6.2 trailer, and additional information on job adjustments, island sanctuaries, and etc. once we get part 2 of the live letter. Probably, if I had to give an estimated time to when we'll be seeing that, I would say, again, probably at the end of July. Anyway, everyone, that's going to be it for right now. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this was informative and that you're going to be looking forward to everything that comes for 6.2. Otherwise, this is going to be Fantasy Girl signing out.